11th in the Premier League could give you European football this season. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds ridiculous. Usually you've got the top 4 in the Champions League, a couple more in the Europa League, and then 7th qualifies for the Conference League. If you're Crystal Palace in 11th, you haven't got a sniff of European football next season usually. But that is completely different this time around. Now, in the season just gone, the top 4 qualified automatically for the Champions League. This year, though, the Premier League is on course to earn an extra place, otherwise known as the EPS, or European Performance Slot, which means the team that finishes 5th in the Premier League also qualifies for the Champions League. Now, at this moment in time, that would mean that Liverpool, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, and Manchester City all find themselves in the Champions League next season. You see, if Manchester United, for example, were to win the Europa League, they would earn themselves an automatic spot into the Champions League, making it 6 teams. And on top of Manchester United winning the Europa League, Aston Villa were to win the Champions League and finish outside of the top 5. They would, of course, also automatically qualify for the Champions League. Then, of course, on top of that, you would still get 2 teams below those 7 qualifying for the Europa League. That's 8th and 9th. And then 10th place would qualify for the Conference League. That, though, is only 10. So where do we get this 11th team, aka Crystal Palace right now? Where do they come into this? And this is where it gets a little bit complicated, because it comes down now to the domestic cups. Now, Newcastle have just won the Carabao Cup after beating Liverpool in the final. If they were to finish even in the top 10, that spot would then head over to an FA Cup candidate. The FA Cup winner would usually qualify for the Europa League, but if the FA Cup is won by a team that already finishes in the top 9, then that spot, because it wouldn't be decided by a cup competition at all, would be handed over to a league position. That spot would drop down and therefore become 11th place in the Premier League. So there's a world in which you get 7 teams from England qualifying for the Champions League and then another 4 going into the Europa League and Conference League. This could get crazy.